Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP Today. Pecco Bagnaia pulled off a crucial win in Malaysia, keeping his MotoGP title hopes alive. With Jorge Martin maintaining a 24-point lead, the Ducati rider heads to the final race in Barcelona with everything on the line. Here's a closer look at Bagnaia's strategy and his reflections on this high-stakes season. Jorge Martin could have fought harder against Pecco Bagnaia in the Malaysian GP but ultimately opted to hold back, prioritizing safety over an all-out battle. With a 24-point lead, Martin heads into Barcelona with just a few points standing between him and his first MotoGP championship. Following a challenging race at the Malaysian Grand Prix, Marc Márquez reflected on his performance, highlighting both his promising start and the costly crash that ultimately impacted his results. Despite the setback, the Gresini rider shared insights into the intense competition and the lessons learned as he prepares for the next race in Barcelona. In a significant development from the Malaysian MotoGP, stewards have announced their verdict regarding the major crash involving Jack Miller, Brad Binder, and Fabio Quartararo. After thorough investigation, the stewards determined that no further action would be taken against the riders involved in the incident. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Pecco Bagnaia knew that winning the Malaysian GP was his only option, and he delivered. Sunday's race has never been his issue. It's the sprint races that have hampered his title defense. Bagnaia explained that while he's tried adjusting, the fuel tank dynamics have presented ongoing challenges. As Bagnaia now heads to Barcelona, he's realistic yet determined. Despite Martin's 24-point lead, Bagnaia is ready to fight until the final flag. We know that Sunday is never a problem, while Saturday is. We have to improve, and I will try to do that immediately. It is very difficult, but we will try until the end. Quote from Pecco Bagnaia. In Malaysia, Bagnaia engaged in an intense, but respectful, battle with Martin. Both riders pushed each other aggressively but cleanly, delivering an electrifying race for fans. Bagnaia was patient, waiting for the perfect moment to make his move and capitalize on his pace advantage. Despite the competitive tension, Bagnaia expressed admiration for Martin's approach, emphasizing that their rivalry is built on respect. It was a nice, aggressive, and fair duel. All the overtakes were clean and we never touched each other. I'm not the kind of person who wants to be nice off the track and then hard on the track. There is a lot of respect between us. Bagnaia acknowledged that while he hoped Enea Bastianini or Marc Marquez could challenge Martin, he wasn't about to slow down or manipulate his position to make that happen. For Bagnaia, racing must be fair, and he prides himself on sportsmanship. Bagnaia will need a bit of help in Barcelona, though, noting that someone between him and Martin could be essential for his title chances. He sees local riders like Alex Espargaro potentially as a factor, but knows he'll need all the luck he can get. I am a clean driver and a real sportsman. I would never have slowed down to let others get close. I would need someone else's help. I know that in Barcelona Alex Espargaro will also be strong and will surely help Jorge. As he looks back on his season, Bagnaia admits that Saturdays have been his Achilles heel, while Sundays have been his domain. With one last chance in Barcelona, he's embracing the unpredictable nature of the final race and holding on to hope for a miraculous outcome. I would say that Saturdays are rough, whereas I love Sundays, Bagnaia concluded. Bagnaia's season-long persistence and his clean, respectful rivalry with Martin have made him a fan favorite. Now, he enters the final showdown with a calm but determined mindset, knowing that while his chances are slim, anything is possible in MotoGP. Jorge Martin entered the Malaysian GP with a chance to clinch the 2024 championship. Yet, after an intense early battle with Bagnaia, he chose a cautious approach, recognizing that an aggressive push for first place carried unnecessary risk. I think I could get that first position, but it was too much of a risk, so I waited behind. Quote from Jorge Martin. Although Martin initially planned to shadow Bagnaia and strike later, dirty air disrupted his bike's performance, making it challenging to stay close without losing stability. Behind Martin, Marc Márquez loomed close, adding pressure. But when Márquez crashed, Martin felt relieved, as it allowed him more breathing room. For sure, when Marc crashed, it was a big relief for me because I had some space to near Bastianini, and then I was trying to continue with focus, with a really good pace. Quote from Jorge Martin. Despite pushing to catch Bagnaia, Martin made a slight mistake at turn 9. At that point, he knew it was wiser to focus on finishing and securing points. I said, "Okay, Jorge, that's enough. Nice, important points for the championship." Reflecting on the race, Martin emphasized the mental side of competing with Bagnaia. Both riders displayed similar physical prowess and riding styles, but Martin felt Bagnaia was in a must-win mindset that gave him an edge on the day. Martin's strategy was to apply enough pressure on Bagnaia to force a mistake, but he admitted that without an early lead, overtaking in the second half of the race is nearly impossible given today's track conditions. Everything was on his side to win today. He had to risk. I think it was more on the mental side, and I think he had everything today to win. If you are not on the lead on the first 10 laps, it is almost impossible to win it. With a 24-point advantage, Martin heads to Barcelona for the final round, needing just 2 points in the sprint race to seal the championship. Reflecting on his steady approach, he knows that staying calm under pressure may be the key to victory. "I never gave up, I always tried to the end. At least put some pressure on him," Martin concluded. The title fight may still be mathematically open, but Martin's measured approach in Malaysia has positioned him to enter the last round with confidence and control. Now, the MotoGP world awaits an electrifying finale in Barcelona, where Martin could become the new champion. At the Malaysian Grand Prix, Marc Marquez showed early promise, making 2 excellent starts after a red flag halted the race on the first lap. He quickly climbed to 3rd place, trailing behind strong competitors Jorge Martin and Pecco Bagnaia. However, halfway through the race, Marquez crashed, though he managed to rejoin and finished in 12th place. Speaking to DAZN, he reflected on his experience during the race. "It was the day I felt the best, especially the calmest. I knew exactly where I was today, which was 3rd or 4th. When I crossed the finish line on the previous lap, I saw Bastianini more than 2.5 seconds behind me and I said, well, now it's time to deal with 4th. But well, bikes are like that. Sometimes when you relax a little you fall. Maybe that happened today. That's why we were able to get back on the bike and finish in 12th position. Yes, it covers up the mistake a little, but today we made a mistake." Quote from Marquez. Reflecting on the fierce competition between Martin and Bagnaia, Marquez expressed his admiration for their aggressive riding. He described his experience as a spectator in the intense battle for the lead, acknowledging the high stakes involved in the championship chase. "I paid a high price for the front row ticket because I ended up falling. But it was a battle where I expected it from Pecco, but I didn't expect Martin to be so aggressive. And above all, when he was second, he tried to attack. He took a lot of risks. Because apart from fighting, they were going fast." Marquez noted how their fierce competition pushed them to perform at their best, demonstrating the intensity that characterizes championship races. With the next race set for Barcelona following the cancellation of the Valencia GP, Marquez shared his thoughts on the upcoming challenges. He highlighted that the track conditions in Catalonia would be significantly different from the earlier races in the season, particularly in terms of temperature and grip. "Well, in the end the championship has decided that the last race will be in Catalonia, and we will see how it goes. It is true that we will find a very different track to the one we had in June or May, I think, because now the temperatures are very different. We will have to adapt and see what we can do." Quote from Marquez. As he prepares for the Barcelona race, Marquez is focused on adapting to the new conditions and improving his performance. As Marc Marquez reflects on the ups and downs of the Malaysian Grand Prix, his insights into the challenges of racing and the fierce competition among top riders serve as a reminder of the sport's unpredictability. With the Barcelona race on the horizon, fans will be eager to see how he adapts and strives for a stronger performance in the final rounds of the season. The crash occurred on lap 1 as the riders exited turn 1 and were navigating the transition to turn 2. According to the steward's report, the investigation involved multiple camera angles and detailed analysis of the circumstances surrounding the incident. As a consequence of converging lines, the rear of the number 73 made contact with the front of the number 33, causing the number 33 to lift up and completely dislodge his bodywork. The crash path of the number 43 then caused number 20 and number 33 to both crash. After extensive review, the stewards do not consider that any rider acted in an irregular manner. Stewards' notes indicated. While Binder and Quartararo walked away with minor injuries, Miller required medical attention on the track following the crash, which led to a red flag being waved. Following the stewards' ruling, KTM boss Francesco Guidotti expressed his belief that the incident should be classified as a racing incident. His sentiments were echoed by the stewards, who ultimately agreed with this assessment, concluding that the nature of the crash fell within the realm of racing. The incident highlights the challenges riders face when competing at such high speeds and tight quarters, emphasizing the unpredictable nature of motorcycle racing. In addition to the pile-up verdict, Jorge Martin received a €500 fine for an unsafe release during the warm-up. The team is responsible for the safe release of the rider, with one team member whose only role is to check for incoming traffic and release the rider only when it is safe, the steward stated. Despite the fine, Martin heads into the final round of the championship with a 24-point lead over Pecco Bagnaia, a significant advantage as the season draws to a close. As the MotoGP season reaches its climax, the ruling on the crash involving Miller, Binder, and Quartararo serves as a reminder of the unpredictable and often dangerous nature of the sport. With only one round remaining, all eyes will be on how the championship contenders navigate the pressure in the upcoming race. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. See you in the next video.